Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 333 of a year of change. As you can tell, I'm still sick. Took a turn for the worse and started getting really stuffy and hacky and coughy and throaty and wheezy. I spent the past couple of days just taking medicine and Citran and lemon tea and not much else. So, um, not bedridden or anything like that, but just enough to be annoying. So, but I had something in mind actually that I was going to talk about today, but instead I'm going to talk about something else that came up because we've talked about this before. We've talked about emotional eating and triggers and everything else. And for the majority of us, it's usually when we're depressed that we eat. For others, myself included, it's also when I was happy, angry, sad, or bored. So generally, it didn't really matter when, what my mood was, but there were certain things that, we all know that feeling when we just feel shitty about ourselves that we want to eat so badly. And I found another trigger today. So basically, what had happened was, it will make sense by the end of it. There was a big thing going on at work. It was some celebration. I don't know what it's for because when the email came out last week, the subject line said fun, 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 and I immediately deleted it without looking because no. I hate shit like that. Sort of mandatory fun for everybody. So, of course, I missed out on whatever was going on. But one of the things that they had going on was an actual candy bar. I don't mean like an actual, ooh, look at that. It's, just a regular chocolate bar. Like an actual buffet that they laid out for all the different employees. Now, when you have an office filled with 700 people, that is a tremendous amount of candy. Now, I'm not a big candy kind of person to begin with, so it wasn't too bad. But what I did find out is when I'm sick and feeling mopey and sorry for myself, I want candy. I really do. Because in general, I'm just, it's candy. I don't really care. I've been having cough drop after cough drop after cough drop. So when you have a whole bunch of those, you really don't feel like having candy on top of it. But they were carrying these carts around, like big Harry Potter trolleys filled with candy and stuff, lugging them out to wherever they had the table set up. And, of course, you catch a glimpse and you're like, that's a shit ton of candy. And then you see that one candy, you're like, oh, I kind of want some. And they had the little marshmallow strawberry things. And for some reason, in my head, I went, I really, really want some of those now. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I want to sit and have some marshmallow strawberries and mope about being sick. So anyway, throughout the day, of course, you've got just wave after wave after wave of people going out and getting big bags, just sort of taking what they want and, coming back to their desk. And so there's crinkly bits and munchies all over the place. And what I found, I will sort of let you know up front, I did not indulge. I didn't go out and have any candy at all. I stuck with my cough drops and my shitty tea and my Neo-Citran throughout the day. I don't know, though, if it was really a matter of no, I'm going to will myself not to have any. Because, number one, my laziness trumps a lot of my, willpower to begin with. And when I'm sick and I don't want to go anywhere, taking a 2-minute walk to walk the 30 steps it would take to go to the candy bar, I'm not doing that. So I didn't even see it throughout the day. But it's a huge buffet, and I've seen them do this before. And basically, you go in, they give you a little brown paper bag, you fill it up with whatever you want, and then you go. The other thing, too, though, is that I've never been a big fan of shit like that at work, just aside from the fact that it's an office, you shouldn't be doing that. And I understand people are like, no, we have to have fun. No, you're getting paid. Do some work. But, grumpy old, get to work, Cratchit. But, also, you have 700 people going in, coughing and sneezing and farting and just wiping their nose and wiping their ass and everything else and going over and digging through all the candy. These aren't, individually wrapped things. These are that they've just sort of got from bulk stores. And, they pretend, we'll have a little scoop so people can scoop stuff. No, they're grabbing it with their hands and they're like, ooh, this looks good. And snort, wiping themselves and going, oh, what's at the very bottom of this? And their dandruff is falling in and all the other shit. So I'm not a big fan, never have been, never been one to say, oh, well, there's stuff at work, then I will partake. Because chances are there's skin flakes and hair and eyebrows and everything else in there. Not entire eyebrows, but little hairs from your eyebrows that fall out and go poop and land on your cake or candy or whatever it is. So, now I've had other people as well that were bringing all the stuff back that kept offering over and over, and I was okay. I thought it was all right. But it's weird because I'm not a candy kind of person. If it's like sour stuff or salt, then yes, I can understand. I'd be a little more inclined to go, maybe I do want some. But for some reason today, that's what I wanted. I wanted strawberry marshmallows or marshmallow strawberries. You know what I mean? The little squishy things that are just basically little balls of sugar. But I didn't. I stuck with it, and it wasn't any real thing of, saying, no, I've got to be good. It's a combination of things. Like, I haven't been doing very well. I haven't really been losing very much. The past couple of weeks, they've been very slow losses, I should say, or progress. My progress has been slow. The 100-pound mark is creeping up as well as the end of the year. So there's, I don't want to set myself back any further than I have to there. Also, I'm not feeling well, so I don't really feel like having, and I know if I go in and grab a big handful of candy, I'm going to feel like shit afterwards anyway. And I'm just not used to it. So there was a whole bunch of different things that sort of went on to contribute to me not going after this. But in general, I'm glad I didn't. I mean, obviously. Even if they were like little individually wrapped things and everyone got their own thing, it's nice to know that at a moment when I would say, you know what, if I was going to give in, this would have been it. Because I'm feeling sorry for myself. I don't want to go anywhere or do anything. I just want to go home and I'm stuck at work. So you're grumpy and you're mopey and you're feeling sorry for yourself because no one else will. Because let's face it, it's a cold. It's not the end of the world. You're not dying. You're not sick. But in that moment, you're just like, nothing's going right. And then, of course, I have to deal with all the office fun things that are going on. And then, of course, that moment when you go, you know what, that would make me feel better. I want some candy. And trying not to cough. Sorry. That would have been the moment that I would have given in overall. In the past, whatever it is. So it's kind of nice to know that I can sort of go through that. And although it's not as easy to me just going, no, I don't even want it. Of course not. I'm doing well. I did want it, And we've run into that before, but it's nice to know that I have another trigger that when I'm mopey and feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to want to eat as well. And I don't know if it's going to be a matter of me saying, well, then I know that when I start getting sick, I have to really be careful because maybe I'll overeat. I'm still tracking everything. And in general, you just kind of don't feel like eating a whole lot when you're sick. Although I keep taking sneak peeks and my weight isn't going anywhere. So I don't know what's happening there. But in general, you don't really feel like eating, especially not eating a tremendous amount of candy on top of because cough drops are they're medicinal, but there's a lot of sugar in them anyway. Maybe that's why. Same thing with neocitran. There's a lot of sugar in that. Because it needs to be palatable, because otherwise it would just taste like medicine. I was going to try to think of a really good metaphor, but no, it does taste like medicine, which is horrible. But at least, knowing that, hey, that's another trigger. It's a little bit of information that I have now, and it's interesting because in that situation, normally we sort of know what sets us off in these situations. We know that, okay, well, you know what, if I have a shitty day, that's generally when I would eat. Or, if, whatever your trigger normally is. So when you sort of, just being able to recognize another one is kind of nice. I don't know if it's ever going to be helpful, but just knowing that, in moments when I'm feeling, I want to have something bad for me, whether it's chips or candy or, whatever it is, that at least, there's, how can I put this? There's a little more conscious effort put into it instead of me just going, I'm hungry, I want food. And I mean, part of this is because we've spent so much time on this. And I'm not going to go into the whole sugar, the sugar is bad because it'll do this and this and this and this. We've gone through that for a very, very long time. So, I mean, we know what all the good and the bad things are from it. Not many good, actually, but all the bad things anyway. So I'm not going to sort of rehash those, but it was interesting to see that, especially something that I don't normally crave, that all of a sudden just I wanted something right then and there. And part of it is because it was there. Part of it is because I haven't had anything really bad like that in a very long time. But I think the majority of it was I just was moping like a 2-year-old. And I wanted to have some candy because I wasn't feeling good, which is really weird. But it was much easier just to sort of say no at this stage than it would have been, a year ago. I still would have gone and just piled up on everything. Even though I'm not a huge, candy kind of person, I would have gone and just, even during this year when we've been doing this, I've still gone and I've got the sour jujube things, which I haven't gotten a friggin' long time. Here's a Canadian swear word for you, friggin'. So, because we talked about this during the weekend as well, where, it does get a little bit better dealing with it. And this is just sort of that in practice that happened this week. And it's kind of nice to be able to look at something and say, you know what, I'm okay. I know that at least with candy, something that's going to tempt me that strongly so that I go, I really, 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 really want some. And I can still just say, you know what, no. Granted, there are a lot of contributing factors to it, like everyone's grubby, dirty, sticky, gross fingers all, finger banging the candy drawer. That's one of those things that yours is like, no, don't want to, I don't know who you are. I don't know where your hands have been. You've probably gone to the bathroom and didn't wash them and then came back out and wiped them all over everything. So, that helps to say no to stuff like that. But even afterwards, when you think, well, I could go to the store and I can still get my own stuff and it would be individually wrapped, and you think, no, I've done well. I don't want to sabotage what I'm doing at this point. And although it would be something very minimal, and even if I tracked everything and still didn't go over, it's still, it's a little bit different having just that big handful of candy than it is going out and having, nothing or something a little bit healthier. So it's, it was just, as I say, I don't know if it's going to be any help in the long run. I don't know if something's going to snap and I'm going to say, oh, well, that's obviously a trigger, so I need to be very careful. I don't really want that food. I'm just feeling sad. No, I really want it. I know I really want it. And whether it's a matter of going, well, you don't really crave candy. You're actually just feeling sorry for yourself. You're like, okay, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm still really craving candy. But it was much easier to deal with in this situation than it normally would have been. That it would have been a year ago, I'll say, or even probably 6 months ago. Because I think 6 months ago, I still had those cravings. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I want to go and get some jujubes. And I'll just say, oh, it's fine. I can have these once in a while. Eventually, we can. But right now, I still don't think I'm really at a stage where I should be having them. So, but I've been called on that before. So, keep it up. But, no real topic to speak of. Just, I originally was going to sort of say, well, if you have any triggers, being consciously aware of them. But we sort of dealt with that as well. Knowing what our triggers are, knowing what is going to prompt us to say, okay, well, I want cake, or I want cookies, or I want, chips, or I want something, bad for me. It's not going to prevent us from craving those. It's not going to make the cravings any easier. But just having that little bit of information, I find is, I don't know why it helps. It just does. I don't have any answers for you today. Sorry. Part of it's probably because my head's all wonky from being sick. But it was something that I at least was able to recognize, and just because it happened immediately, because I had no craving whatsoever for anything. I didn't want to eat anything. I didn't want to drink anything. I just kind of felt shitty. And then all of a sudden it was a matter of, no, I want that. I want that right this very second. And I'm going to beat people up and take it before any of the grubby people touch it. But no, left it throughout the end. So 8 hours of dealing with this. Everyone else had their candy. I kind of spoiled it for some because they did say, you realize that people are poking their nose and, going to the bathroom and not washing their hands and picking through their candy. So that made me feel better. So at least I can ruin it for someone else. God damn it, if I'm not allowed to have any, I'm going to ruin it for other people. That's half the fun. They still ate it though. So, but you wait till after they're done eating it, then you bring it up. And then they gotta go, oh, you go, yeah, you just ate pea candy. So Have fun. Which is why you don't eat like the peanuts and stuff at a bar or anything, because there's pee all over the place, everywhere. It's not paranoia. It's a fact. Especially if you're running around an office with, I think there's about 600 or 700 people in our office. There are some dirty people that are going to be in there putting their grubby, sticky, gross hands all over the candy. And then you go in and you eat it. So that hopefully, at the very least, maybe that will help with office potlucks and shit like that. So that if you have stuff like that going on at work, or if they bring in cakes or cupcakes or cookies or biscuits or muffins or whatever, just keep that in mind that you don't know, the person who brought them in, you don't know what they've been doing. They could have easily just said, oh, these smell so good, and then sneezed all over them, and then closed it up and just went, they will never, ever know, and I will share my disease with the rest of the world. So I assume people do that anyway. So that's why I don't eat out a lot. Yeah, it's gross. Anyway, I have no real information to give you other than a little, hey, I didn't eat candy today, which is not a big deal. But hopefully it's something that, if you find that you've noticed something like that, that there's something that triggers you, or you've got this weird craving for something that you didn't have before, that you can at least recognize, even if you indulged in it. At least if you can recognize it and say, you know what, I know why I did this because of this. Having that little bit of information, for somehow it helps. Just being able to say, no, I know this is why. And it's not like a false affirmation or, trying to think positive or anything like that. Just, again, that practical application of it and looking at it and saying, I want this because I'm sick right now. That's the only reason why. Normally I wouldn't even give a shit. But it's just because I'm mopey and I want to go home, curl up on the couch, watch cartoons, and do nothing for the rest of the week. Which I can't do because I still have work going on. But for right now, I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video.